Yeah, I mean, it's 2 weeks out from a game. You shouldn't be ready to play then.
Yeah.
But the way I look at the game is, we've got to be very direct with the kids. Same with the coaches, and it's either right or it's wrong. Right? You don't almost make a block. You don't almost make a tackle. You can't use those terms with kids. You can't talk about, well, you're just a little bit outside here. No, it's either right or it's wrong, and that's really the point that I was making was it's either right or wrong. And we've got to be direct with them when we talk in those terms because football is such a game of small margin, and we have small margin on our team, and we can't make those mistakes that might be small to some people, but they're huge, they're glaring. So we had a really good intent coming out to practice yesterday and today. I'm happy about where this football team is and excited where we have a chance to be really in a week and a half from now. It's exciting. It is. I mean, they're a vital part of our success at home, and that showed the last 2 seasons and how they've shown up and continued to be more and more students and creating a good atmosphere and environment for college football. But as much as anything, it's about our players, response to them and how they go out and they want to play for them and they want all the kids at school and the students here who are we're all the same. We're all the same. We walk the same streets. We go to the same classes. So that shared adversity that we all have, I guess you'd say. So they want to put on a good performance for their fellow students. The build, the day-to-day, the process of what it takes to build it, making mistakes and learning from them, becoming a better version of yourself, being able to impact others, impact people on the staff, develop and grow people on the staff. Probably my biggest joy is, though, that knowing that we have a hand really in building the future and building. I'm not talking about football. I'm talking about the future of the world. And we have over 100 kids. We have a chance to impact every single day and put better young men in this world. If I had a crystal ball, I'd tell you. But it's easy to say hard work. But there's so many things that go into it. You have to remind yourself every day that it is a process. To be urgent in the moment but patient for time, I think is an important quality to possess. But it starts with the players. Okay, then the coaches and the staff, they're so important to our success and to the build. Getting the right players in, though. Recruiting through high school and developing your program for the long term and building a foundation for long-term success. But then supplementing where you need through the free agent market of the portal. And I think we've done a good job of our evaluations in that. Mm-hmm. We had a very stringent plan that we wanted to stick to in the portal, and we did that. And I think those guys have fit in. There's 38 new guys on the team. And so there's not continuity from the last year. There's not momentum from the last season. Every year is a totally new year, and you have to, you hope that there's enough left in your locker room that everybody says culture. I say locker room, and the same thing. You hope the culture of your team in the locker room, right, that there's enough people left over from the previous year that when those new guys come in, they either add to it or fit into it. I'm not going to bring anybody in that's going to take away. Yeah, I really had no doubt. I mean, and I've said this several times, Maria, that in college football we have to get out of this world of saying you lost somebody in the portal. Right? In the NFL, they don't say you lost somebody in free agency. It was free agency. They made a decision, and that's the way it is now. And you got to do what's best for the team. Sometimes it's a guy leaves and you get 2 guys or 3 guys in place of them. So you're constantly trying to build the roster and the roster depth. Having guys like that return that they can be so valuable in spreading what my message is and pouring into the players. And what we do through player development, our fifth quarter program of really taking these people and immersing them into our culture. And you either fit in or you don't. And we're not going to, the guys they're not going to make it if they don't. Special. It's special. There's a bond that the head coach and the quarterback share, and it's not just him. I mean, it's all the quarterbacks in that room. We meet at least once a week for probably 2 hours at a time, and I mean, sometimes we don't even talk football. And it's just us being on the same page, being able to think the way I think on the field, the way he controls the game, manages the game. When you win, everybody gets all the pub and all the hype. But when you lose a football game, that camera's on two people. It's on the head coach and it's on the quarterback. And we got to eat it, and we got to accept it, and take responsibility for it. And we're the two that have to do that. And so there's a special bond that you build through all those things. He's a warrior. He's a warrior. I don't like to look in the past. We talk all the time about being where our feet are, but you have to learn from the past. You have to learn from good and bad, and how you're going to move forward from those setbacks or challenges or adversity or losses, whatever you want to call it, and use it as fuel. And I've seen not only him, but a lot of people do that. And look, you take a season and put it into a moment of a couple of hours, but really it's that drive to play his last year. It's his last year here. He's been such a vital part of this build and what we've done, and he's going to be remembered in Georgia Tech history from now on.
What do you want him to be remembered for?
Being a champion. Being a champion. I want him to feel what it feels like. I want his teammates to know what it feels like. I want the guys on the staff and the coaches to know what it feels like. Haynes is already a champion. Haynes King is a champion. He was a champion long before he came to Georgia Tech. And he's going to be one long after he leaves. But the feeling of team success is something you can't ever take away. BG has come in and injected so much energy, being a player's coach where they can relate to him, but he is hard on them, and that's what I want. I mean, in the day and age we are in college football, and it's not changing. There's so many things the head coach does. I've got to have complete trust in my coordinators, and I trust BG. And we went through the process of interviewing people, and I mean, there was an instant connection that we had. In our belief in football, and what's important in the game of football, toughness, running to the ball, how physical you can play, how disciplined you can be, developing players, the love for the college game. There were so many things that we shared within his command and presence in a room, and being able to go back and forth from being a player's coach, right, and putting his arm around them to coaching them hard and getting to do things that aren't natural to do, and they're hard to do. Very similar to the way Buster is. Very similar. To have those two guys, running your offense and your defense, it helps me have confidence and be able to know things are going right in those rooms. He's been a great addition. Like I said, we're undefeated right now, so we'll see as the season goes. But I have full faith and confidence in him. And I have confidence in the defense, and we've increased our depth on that side of the football in a lot of key positions that we had to. And all in all, it helps you become a better product. So now it's getting close to being time to shut up and go play and see. So. Yeah, it's all the guys. I mean, to have our offensive staff intact from the last season. I think there's been one person leave in the last 3 years. I mean, that's special. And it's not just the guys, the names you hear about. It's the support staff in the offensive room. It's the QCs. It's the the assistant position coaches that do so much work. And on the defensive side, Tyler was in last year, and we knew Tyler was gonna, if he had an opportunity to go to the NFL, I mean, that's one thing. That was his dream. So, but we stayed consistent with the guys up front. With Kyle Pope and Jess Simpson, Corey Peoples, and we were able to bring somebody in that was a smooth transition. So continuity is big because the locker room changes so much. For them to have a stability in those position rooms and in those coaches' offices, it's important for the kids. And at the end of the day, what's most important for our players and important for the GT we wear is what our decisions are made on. That is my 3 minutes to be them, to be a player. Not a player that's going to play, but to be in their shoes, to have the pads on, to have the helmet on. And everything I say, whether I script it out or plan it out, it's an emotional outburst of what I'm feeling and how much I love this team and love the opportunity we get to go play every Saturday. And then once that's out of me, I kind of black out during it and kick the door open and we go play.
Last question for you. It is very rare to have a former player coach at their alma mater. You get asked about that a lot. But do you ever get to sit there and enjoy the moment that you're in?
At first I didn't, and I had to catch myself because this is something that I've dreamed of my whole life. This is an opportunity that so many people have dreamed to have. So I'm going to enjoy the moment. And, I tell our staff all the time, we're never going to ask a player to do something we're not going to do ourselves, right? So to be where your feet are and stay in the moment. So about once a month, I'll sit in my office and I'll start at the skyline, and memories will start coming back as a player, and Friday walkthroughs and the Thursday night games with the skyline, and then I'll just go across and I'll read the names at the top of the stadium. Coach Johnson, Calvin, Joe Ham, Pat Swilling, Randy Rhino, Ray Beck, all the way around as I go around and just think about all the unbelievable players that have played here and coaches that have coached here, and did I get the chance to sit in the same seat that those coaches did? I mean, Coach Curry was here the other day, and just to hear the wisdom from him. Coach Gailey was here today. To have all those guys welcome back. I mean, from Coach O'Leary, Coach Johnson, they're all welcome back here. They all come around, and just again, I talked to Coach O'Leary on Saturday night after our scrimmage. Just so much wisdom in those men, but such an honor to sit in that seat that they sat in. I mean, 4 Hall of Fame coaches were head coaches here, so I take 2 or 3 minutes about once a month and soak it all in and slap myself in the face and get back to work.
Awesome. Well, we're excited to see what Georgia Tech looks like this year.
So am I.